Today I'm going to be showing you the best player from every NBA team. With that being said, subscribe and let's get into it. So, starting off with the San Antonio Spurs, I'd have to go with it's either DeMar DeRozan or Marcus Aldridge. Let's explain why. Let's take a look at DeMar DeRozan. He's had 16 points a game this season, but it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs. So I think we should look at LaMarcus Aldridge and see what our options are there. Let's take a look at LaMarcus Aldridge. 22 points a game, but they're still not going to make the playoffs. But I'll take 22 points over 16 points. So the best player on the Spurs is LaMarcus Aldridge. Next on our list is the Cleveland Cavaliers. None of them are really good, but if I had to choose one, it'd probably be Kevin Love. And here are his statistics. 18 points a game. That's who's the best Cavalier on the team. Next coming up, my favorite team, the Boston Celtics. They got all-stars. They got a ton of good players. So let's get into it and see who's their best player. They got Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum. They got all-star caliber players. They're going to make the playoffs as the 3 seed. And let's see who's the best. Jaylen Brown has been absolutely amazing this year. He has 24 points a game. That is really, really good. Surprising there's so many stars on this team. And to top that off, he has 8 rebounds. So, yeah, this guy's pretty good. Next, we got Kemba Walker, who has been amazing this season. Came from Charlotte, and he's got 28 points a game. So, as I said, there's a ton of stars on this team. And he's dishing out 4 assists with 1 rebound. He probably is the best player on this team, but we're going to have to look at other players. So, as for now, Kemba Walker, 28 points and 1 rebound and 4 assists. That's Kemba Walker. Also notable, you see his assist there. Really good. Next up, we got Gordon Hayward, which, he's up there, but he might not compare to Kemba Walker. And this is a fun fact. He has the same amount of points per game as his number, 20 points per game. So, as I showed you all of the stars, and yes, I did not forget about Jason Tatum, but he hasn't been the greatest this year, and if I could just give a summary, 14 points a game, and at one point in the season, only 12. But the thing that's keeping him alive is 12 assists. So, if I had to pick one, it would be, it's a close one, but Kemba Walker. Next team. Finally, the easiest one, the Golden State Warriors. Over the past few years, it's been Steph Curry. And now in these past few years, it's still Steph Curry. Although Klay Thompson has been good, he's been hurt. It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry has to be not only the best player on the team right now, but in history. I mean, if you're looking at these highlights, the dribbling, the shooting, it all combines into his game. And there's nobody who even competes with Steph Curry for this one. I know he's been hurt most of the season, but when he came back, he looked just like Steph Curry, and he had some great passes, too, to go with it. I think he had like a 23-point effort in his debut that season. But since 2009, when he came in the league, Steph Curry has most definitely been the best player in Warriors history, and as I said, on the team right now. So it's the most obvious choice that I put Steph Curry here. I mean, look at this crossover to cross Chris Paul up, the jump shot that he hits. And honestly, I think when he retires, he's going to be the greatest player of all time. I'm not even joking there. That's probably the best move I've seen from any NBA player of all time. I mean, watch this pass. All the way down to Kevin Durant. That might be the greatest pass I've ever seen, too. And then the tomahawk by Kevin Durant. But anyways, that is a great play. He's a great player. Greatest player on the team. Fake Rudy Gobert out. And yeah. Next up, we got the Houston Rockets. And this is another easy answer. Super easy, and you're all thinking that the obvious answer is Nene. The Miami Heat. The best player on the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler. I mean, stats are as normal as usual. 26 points a game. That's Jimmy Butler type. Next up, we got the Chicago Bulls, the 6-time NBA champions. See who they beat. Okay, so it's either Lauri Markkanen or Zach LaVine. So they're both been pretty good this season. Zach LaVine dunks and Lauri Markkanen shoots three. So Zach LaVine has been averaging 24 points a game, and then Lauri Markkanen is averaging 15, almost 16. And there's been a lot of crazy dunks from Zach LaVine, like I said, and Lauri Markkanen. So it's very, very close, and Zach LaVine or Lauri Markkanen. It's a very, very tough one. Zach LaVine has more points, but Lauri Markkanen has a better three-point percentage. Zach LaVine's a better passer, but Lauri Markkanen's a good passer too. But Zach LaVine can dunk. He's a better ball handler than Lauri Markkanen. So it's a tough one, but I'm gonna go Zach LaVine. Thank you very much. Next team, the Brooklyn Nets. This next team is another obvious one. Katie's hurt. So the obvious answer is Kyrie Irving. He's going all of these highlights. He's basically leading them to the playoffs. There's no other guy that could match Kyrie Irving. His handles are great. His shooting is great in this play. Yeah, just like Steph Curry that play. Katie's hurt, so the best player isn't Kevin Durant. And yeah, that's the best player from the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving. I think they traded Joe Harris, so now the three-point shooting is gone for Joe Harris, and Kyrie Irving is now their star player at point guard. He has the big afro, and yeah, we can go to the next team now. Oh, that's not their team. Okay, and he blocks it. Well, that wasn't him, but anyways. The Washington Wizards is next. Let's get into that one. So the obvious answer here is Bradley Beal. He's averaging 24 points a game as long as 3 assists, and he's obviously the best player on the team. So let's go to the next team. So the next team is the OKC Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is another obvious one, but there is someone who I'll give a second place to. It's either Chris Paul, and the second place is Steven Adams. Next up, we got the Toronto Raptors, and let's see who the Toronto Raptors, their best player is. So the answer is either Kyle Lowry, which is averaging 16 points a game, or Pascal Siakam, who's averaging 26 points a game. So there's an obvious answer here, but this might change your opinion. Kyle Lowry has gained 6 rebounds plus 6 assists, and Pascal Siakam has gained only 6 rebounds, even though he's a bigger guy, and 2 assists. So even if Pascal scores more points, I'm still going to go with Kyle Lowry. The Minnesota Timberwolves. The best player on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So a lot of people easily would say it's Karl Anthony Towns' cat. But I think it's actually their rookie, Jared Culver. His stats are amazing. 13 points a game. Cat averages more points than him and D'Lo, but he doesn't get that many minutes. So I'm going to give it to Jared Culver, the rookie, because he just deserves it for the minutes he's played and the points. And averages 3 assists. The Milwaukee Bucks. And another obvious one. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. Next up, we got the Charlotte Hornets, and let's see who the best player on the Charlotte Hornets is. It's Tony Parker. He might be old, but he still is a great player. He averages 9 points a game. Surprising, he only gets 1 minute and 30 seconds every game. And, yeah, you say what you want, but it's Tony Parker. The Detroit Pistons. This easy answer is Blake Griffin. Yeah, they probably will make the playoffs. But, I mean, expectations should be higher for Blake Griffin and Drummond on the same team. But, you know, Blake Griffin has dunked the ball, and he's been good. And, so, yeah, he has, about 18 points a game. At one point, it was 20. So, I mean, that's good stats for him. He's getting, good rebounds, 10 rebounds a game. That's pretty good. And, yeah, so the best player on the Detroit Pistons is Blake Griffin. Yeah, I remember when he was drafted. Expectations are really high, and yeah, Drummond's averaging 12 points a game and getting 8 rebounds. So I would say that it's Andre Drummond, not Blake Griffin. The Dallas Mavericks. And this is a very tough one. They got 2 star players, but one of them stands out. Let's see who the Dallas Mavericks' best player on their team is. Yeah, it's either Luka Doncic or Kristaps Porzingis, and who makes a bigger impact on the team? Luka Doncic. That's what I think. Next, we got the Portland Trailblazers. So let's see who the best
to send the Thunder home. Lillard, long-range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me?
As you saw in the video, the obvious answer for the Portland Trailblazers, as we already know, Damian Lillard. Now let's see who the best player on the Atlanta Hawks is. And this is another easy one out of Oklahoma. Let's see who it is. Yeah, it's Trae Young, the best player on the Atlanta Hawks, an all-star. Next up, we got the Utah Jazz. And the answer for this is one of the best defensive players in the league right now. And I did not forget about Donovan Mitchell, but the best player on the Utah Jazz is Rudy Gobert, and it's obvious because he's averaging 7 blocks a game. Plus, Gobert is averaging 17 points a game. Combine that with a ton of rebounds, and you got a superstar. Now let's look at the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies have a couple stars, and they're going to make the playoffs, so let's see who their best player is. And this is the guy I'm going to choose. His name is Ja Morant, and he's leading the team as a rookie, and he's a star. And the Knicks are a solid team, and they're not going to make the playoffs, but and they don't have the best players, so it's going to be hard to pick one. So let's see who their best player is. And the best player on the Knicks his name is Kevin Knox. And for those who don't know of him, 14 points a game, 4 assists, all fours. So Kevin Knox is pretty good, and he's the best player on the Knicks. Next team, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. And this is a two-man team run by a center and a big point guard. So let's see who their best players. And this one I'm gonna go with Ben Simmons. He's only made 1 3 in his career, but he averages 16 points a game. And yeah, so I'm gonna go with Ben Simmons as the best player on the Philadelphia 76ers. And the next team is the Denver Nuggets. And this one is an obvious one to me. It's their center, the Joker. Next team is the Indiana Pacers, and this has one of my favorite players on the team, Victor Overdose Oladipo. And Victor Oladipo is really good at dunking and passing, and he's a scorer too. 22 points a game. And at one point it was 26. Really good at defense and steals. And his dunks are amazing, like always. And I can talk all day long about Victor Oladipo and how good he is, because Victor Oladipo is one of my favorite players in the NBA, Victor Overdose Oladipo. And the reason I like him is he can soar and dunk over tall people. There's one where he dunked over Kristaps Porzingis on the Knicks. But before I went to the Mavericks, that was really, really cool. And his spin moves and his ability to drive in the lane and finish with a dunk is amazing. And the slam cam shows him dunking. And he cuts in the corner back and forth and then gets the alley-oop. And like that. And he can usually do that all the time if he wants. And he played on the Magic and the Thunder before, so he's a great player. And yeah, he's just really good. And 4 assists with the 22 points plus 2 rebounds. So, not quite triple-double, but he's getting there. He's an amazing player. And yeah, one of my favorites. I love him. And yeah, so let's move on to the next team. Next up, we got the Sacramento Kings. And they got a really good point guard, so let's see who that is. And the best player on the Kings is their starting point guard, De'Aaron Fox. So let's do the next NBA team. Next up, we got the Orlando Magic.
Told me that somebody likes magic. Magic. Sorcery. Yes, illusion.
And if it was 10 years ago, Dwight Howard, but it's 10 years later, so let's see who the best players. Next, we got a great dunker, and he's the best player on the team, and he's leading them to the playoffs. It's Aaron Gordon. And next, we have the Phoenix Suns, and the best player is one of the obvious ones. It's Devin Booker. Now let's look at the New Orleans Pelicans. And this is a pretty easy one. It's the rookies and... No, it's Jrue Holiday. Next, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. And you all know this is the obvious one. It's Kawhi Leonard. He's the 2 seed with Paul George, and they're about to win championships. And yeah. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is the super obvious one. It's LeBron James. Please make to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you're tuned in every time I post a new video. Peace out.